before the foundation of the universe, God chose you. Think about it. You're very special to God. You may not feel very special, but God chose you before he created the universe. That's what it says in Ephesians chapter 1. Let's move on. We were all designed and chosen before God created the universe. Now, God gave us spirits and bodies. That's what we are, human beings. I've got another teaching on creation, and in the creation of mankind, of humans, a human being is a body with a spirit in it. So I'm not going to go into that now, but our computer code is our DNA stores all our genetic information, and this code was all programmed before the physical universe was created, all right? Now DNA, I'm not going to go into huge detail about DNA for the sake of time. You've got 75 trillion cells, give or take a few trillion, in your body, all right? And you've got a full complement of chromosome in every single cell. Each nucleus has 46 chromosomes made of 23 pairs, and each chromosome contains a strand of DNA. Each strand of DNA includes hundreds of millions of base pairs, etc. And if you stretch it out, it'd be 9 foot across, all right? It's made of chemicals called adenine, thymidine, guanine, and cytosine. It's an extremely complex molecule, and there's a computer storage medium of the human body. Just look at me now. You're familiar with computers, right? You've got a laptop or a PC, some of you, all right? Let me tell you how powerful DNA is. Only God could have designed it. If you've got all the information on all the hard disks on planet Earth, all the information on all the hard disks, all the servers, all the mainframe computers, everything, everywhere, you could get it all on one tiny little pinhead of DNA. That's how powerful this computer code is. Only God can do that. Let's look back at the screen now. We can use a mathematical code called switching theory that shows that the chance of one DNA molecule occurring randomly by chance, one chance in 10, with 53 noughts after it. In other words, it's impossible, it's simply impossible for DNA to create itself. Now, the evolutionists, I don't want to give you a whole lot of talk about evolution because that is covered in our teaching on evolution is impossible. But you see, there are problems, there are serious problems for the evolutionists, because what actually DNA does is it sends messages to the periphery of the cell. That has big implications. I'll make it very easy for you to understand. If you have 2 buckets of primordial slime sitting right in front of you right now, because the evolutionists say that life evolved from the primordial slime, okay, well, if it can evolve life, it can certainly evolve a telephone, can't it? A mobile phone. In one bucket, there's one on the left is the first telephone, mobile phone, which evolves from that bucket. On the right-hand bucket evolves another. Now, what we're going to do is turn them on. Now, do you honestly think they're going to communicate with each other? Because I don't. Very simply, I don't. I travel all over the world. Wherever I go, I have to get a new SIM card so that I can communicate with the local network. What the evolutionists want you and me to believe is that this will happen by chance and that they communicate with each other. Well, I think it's rubbish. I think it's absolute rubbish. Furthermore, the DNA that you've got in your body is dextrorotatory. In other words, it's got a right-handed twist. And the amino acids, the proteins in all living systems, including you and me, are left-handed. That's levorotatory. That's just complicated a little bit, isn't it? But the point is that, just look at me now, and I'll try and explain it to you in simple language. If you had 2 buckets of primordial slime and DNA evolved, you would have what's called a racemic mixture. In other words, an equal proportion of left-handed and right-handed forms. I want to tell you something. That's useless for life. Life cannot use a racemic mixture. You must have the right type and only the right type, which proves that actually the Bible is supernatural and God knows what he's doing. Now let's look at something really, really exciting, and I find this really exciting. We're coming to the end of this teaching, but this will really, really make you excited, because I've actually spoken to over 300 people who have died and been to heaven or hell. All right? And one of the things they describe is their homes in heaven. Jesus said, "In my Father's house are many mansions," and their homes are radiating with rainbow colours because they're made of certain stones found in heaven. Now, the chap called Woodward wrote a book called Gems from the City. Now, on Earth, there are 28 precious and semi-precious stones, all right? And this guy, Woodward, actually made a scientific, he did some work on these 12 stones. Here is the book of Revelation, and it says the construction, in Revelation 21, the construction of its wall was of jasper, and the city was pure gold like clear glass. The foundation of the walls of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. And here's the list: jasper, sapphire, chalcedony, emerald, sardonyx, sardius, chrysolite, beryl, topaz, chrysoprase, jacinth, and amethyst. Now, what he discovered, that these 12 stones, and only these 12 stones, refract plane polarized light. In other words, light that has been put into one plane. And this is what they look like. Here's topaz, using plane polarized light. It looks like a rainbow. All right? Here's another one, jasper. It looks like a rainbow. And it's the same with all of the 12, but not the other ones. You see, the other ones, including diamond, we think diamonds are precious. I tell you, God doesn't, because they're not in heaven. Funny that, isn't it? Diamonds are not in heaven, and if you put plane polarized light through them, they just appear black. So what are the chances of John getting these 12 gemstones right by chance out of the 28 gemstones available? Answer: 1 chance in 30 million. This proves that the Bible is supernatural. Now, I'm just going to finish now by telling you about the value of pi in the Bible. You're familiar with pi, I hope. Some of you are familiar with pi. There is the original Hebrew, all right? The original Hebrew, the opening words of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, I don't want to give you a whole long lesson in mathematics, but if you examine the numerical value of each of the Hebrew letters and the numerical value of the words and apply them to this formula, the number of letters times the product of the letters and the number of words times the product of the words, you get the number 3.1416, which is the value of pi to 4 decimal places. Just look at me now. Let me tell you, this is supernatural. There's only one word for it. It is totally supernatural. When it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, that is totally supernatural. This mathematical formula is supernatural. Man didn't write this book. God wrote it. This is the only book on earth that is supernatural. Let's look back at the screen now. Who is the one who created the heavens and the earth? In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by Him. Without Him, nothing was made that was made. In Him was life. We've looked at the history of the Bible, the scientific accuracy of the Bible, the accuracy of Bible prophecy, the hidden codes in the Bible, on the cross and in our own DNA. We've looked at Bible numerics, which earned Ivan Panin the Nobel Prize for Mathematics in 1941. We've looked for the evidence of the precious stones in the book of Revelation, and finally the value of pi in Genesis 1. The Bible is supernatural. There is free information on the Bible is supernatural on our website, freechristianteaching.org. I want to say a very, very big thank you to Howard and Leslie Condor for so kindly letting me use their wonderful premises in New Malden, where I used to live, to make this series. And if you're interested in this teaching, get onto our website and contact our church, freechristianteaching.org. We will send you, look at me now, we will send you this DVD free. F-R-E-E, it's free. We don't sell anything. Jesus didn't sell anything, and we try to do our best. And we don't sell things, we give them away. God bless you. Thanks for listening to this teaching. Get hold of it and give it to your friends who don't believe in the Bible. Thank you. The Bible is supernatural.
Genesis, a new beginning.
And right across Europe, right across Germany, right across Russia, I prophesied that Europe shall have the message of God.
Houseless of